Hello guys, thank you for joining me. Today I thought about making a video of my favorite multi-tool combination for everyday carry. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so here we have the tools which I like to carry around the most for everyday purposes. This is the Leatherman Juice CS4, and this is actually the older model. They have done some changes to the blade and also to the cover itself, and I believe there are some other minor changes as well. It has 15 different functions, and here are the measurements of the tool. It weighs 159 grams and it is somewhat 8.3 centimeters long. So it's a really compact size and just light enough to be carried around in your pocket without it bothering you too much. Here I actually have some comparison to do with some other tools. This is the Victorinox Spirit X, and this is the Leatherman Sidekick. So as you can see, the tool itself is somewhat bit smaller than these two, and I do feel like this is still pretty much perfect for to be carried around in your pocket. So nothing too heavy for that purpose. And here we have the Victorinox Rambler, which weighs almost nothing, 30 grams to be exact, and it's pretty much the size of my pinky. So you don't really notice this when you carry this in your pocket pretty much at all. This one has 10 different functions, which we're gonna cover in just a second. So these are the ones I think complement each other really well. And obviously, this is just my personal opinion. People have different needs, and someone would prefer something else, and that's just perfectly fine. If you have found something else which works really well for you, that's just awesome. More power to you. Okay, so I'm gonna do this review in 7 different sections and cover all the functions these tools have. We're gonna talk about blades, scissors, screwdrivers, pliers, can and bottle openers, saw and awl, and then the other stuff. Okay, so let's start with the blades. Okay, so first tools we're gonna take a look are the blades. These are both quality ones and come sharp straight out of the box. I personally have yet not had the need to sharpen either one of these, so they also maintain the sharpness quite well. Neither one of the blades are lockable, but I haven't found that to be a problem on neither one of the cases. The CS4 blade is a slight hollow grind, and it's about 5.7 centimeters long. The Rambler blade is a little bit shorter one and about 3.4 centimeters long. I personally like having 2 blades with me. The first one for more hygienic tasks, and the second one for tasks like opening packages and so on. But yeah, really good blades, both of these. Next tools we have are the scissors. Once again, they are both quality ones, but I think they are good for slightly different purposes. I really love the Victorinox scissors. These are super accurate, super sharp, and just perfect for cutting fingernails and so on. And also having the nail file with the tool, I do think these both add great value to each other. So just a perfect combination there. The CS4 scissors are also quality ones, and they are great for slightly bigger tasks. And in that way, these two really complement each other really well. The cutting length for CS4 scissors is about 3.0 centimeters, and for the Victorinox one, it's about 1.7 centimeters. These are both spring-loaded, and they are just really good scissors, both of these. Next we have different screwdrivers, and those we have 7 different ones. 2 of them are Phillips head screwdrivers, and 5 of them are flat-bladed. And starting with the Rambler, we have a small Phillips head screwdriver, which is also a magnetic one. And here I have some other tools for some size comparison. And the Rambler Phillips head screwdriver seems to be the same size as the PH0 screwdriver. And with the CS4, we have also one Phillips head screwdriver. And for this comparison, it seems like the PH1 is slightly smaller than this one. So I'm assuming that this is the size of PH2. So with the combination of these two tools, you actually have 2 different sizes of Phillips head screwdrivers. And I just think it's just a cool feature to have. A lot of things you can already do with these ones. Flat-bladed screwdrivers, we have 3 different sizes with the CS4 one, and 1 with the Rambler. Plus, you can also have a small screwdriver, which comes with some models of Victorinox pocket knives. You can add this into the corkscrew the Leatherman CS4 has. The sizes of these 5 different flat-bladed ones are: the smallest one right here is 1.5 millimeters. Then we have 2.0 millimeters, the smallest one over here. The Rambler one is 2.5. Then you have 3.5, and the biggest one is 6.5 millimeters wide. Having these flat-bladed screwdrivers is a neat thing to have, but to be honest, you don't really need these kind of blades, these kind of screwdrivers that often anymore. Usually the screws are nowadays either Phillips heads or, for example, hexagon head type ones. So for this reason, I think having some kind of changeable screwdriver, like the ones you have in some models of Leatherman, for example, would actually be a better option nowadays. That being said, having especially this biggest one is something I would still like to have in the future, maybe to scrape some surfaces and so on. One issue with the CS4 one is that getting these flat-bladed screwdrivers out of their place from here is a really hard thing to do. These ones are so tight that you almost need another tool to open these. Well, I guess that's one reason to have another tool with you. But like I said, you don't really need these drivers that often anymore, so it's not that big of an issue. Plus, with the newer version of this tool, I believe they have changed the design a little bit, so it might be a little bit easier to open these nowadays. I don't know about that. Feel free to comment if you have some experience with that one. But yeah, just combining these tools, you have quite a lot of screwdrivers with you. And as you can see, the small the small flat-bladed screwdriver fits actually really well to the corkscrew on the Leatherman one. So good combination over there. Next, we're going to talk about the pliers and wire tools. The pliers are the key reason why I like to carry this combination with me instead of, for example, Victorinox Handyman, which I have right here. These are already pretty good all-around pliers, but obviously there are sturdier ones if that is something you are looking for the pliers. Here I actually have some comparison. So this is the CS4, and as you can see, the one they use at the Victorinox pocket knives is already a lot of smaller than the ones we have with the CS4. Here we have Leatherman PS4. These are already better pliers than what you have with the Victorinox one, but they are still slightly smaller than what you have with the CS4. So once again, I would prefer using these ones. But nothing to complain with these ones either, and these are actually spring-loaded, so these also have a place in some occasions. But then, if you want to go with something bigger one, here I have the Leatherman Wingman, and these are already somewhat bigger than what you have with the CS4. And here I have Victorinox Spirit X, and these are just really good pliers. But when I'm looking for something to carry for everyday tasks, I do feel like these two are slightly too heavy for me to have them all around all the time. So the weight is one thing why I have decided to go with the CS4 one. It's just much more nicer to carry, and the size of these pliers is already quite nice, so you can do a lot of things with these. Like I said, these are not the most sturdiest one, but this way the weight remains reasonably low, and you can already do quite a lot of tasks with these ones. In Leatherman's description, they actually include 4 different tools with these pliers. You have a needle nose pliers, regular pliers, wire cutters, and hot wire cutters. And I also need to mention that with the Victorinox Rambler, you have this wire stripper with this tool, this small hole over here. But personally, I cannot imagine myself using this tool for stripping wires. I would just use one specific tool for that task, or use pliers for that purpose. Next up we have can and bottle openers. For these tasks, I would just go with the CS4. There is a bottle opener with the Rambler one, but it's such a small one that opening a bottle isn't really that effortless. I personally prefer a little bit bigger tool, and here you have it with the CS4. The fact that a can and a bottle opener are combined for one specific tool gets a big plus from me. And this is once again one reason why I like this tool more than I like, for example, a regular Victorinox pocket knife. Having a separate can opener feels just a little bit a waste of space when you have an opportunity to combine these tools together. Besides, nowadays, most of the cans have their own opening mechanism, so you don't really need a specific tool to open them. That being said, it's still a good thing to have that ability with your multi-tool to open a can. I just don't want it to be a separate one and take some space away from some other tools. The CS4 has also a corkscrew, and that seems to be a tool that really divides people in 2 different camps. I personally want to have a corkscrew with me. Several times it has become useful for me for opening wine bottles. It's surprising how many times there have been a situation when there hasn't been a specific tool around to open those bottles, and with this multi-tool I've been able to save the day. The CS4 also has this function to use can/bottle opener as a lever for opening the wine bottles. So if you feel like you need some extra force for opening those bottles, this is a really good tool for that task. And like I said previously, the corkscrew is similar size as you have it with Victorinox pocket knives. So the extra small screwdriver fits really well to the corkscrew with the CS4. So all in all, really good functions this one has. We're going to continue with the CS4. Here you have an awl and a saw at the same layer. Having a small saw with you is a cool feature to have if you do some camping every now and then. The length is something like 6.3 centimeters. So it's a little bit longer than the blade this multi-tool has. Obviously, you won't be able to do too much with the saw, but I do like it. It's a good for small tasks, and it bites really well. The awl is somewhat 3 centimeters long. It also has a small hole for sewing purposes. To be honest, in this case, I would rather have the tool the Victorinox pocket knives have. It's a lot sharper, and I feel like making a hole is somewhat easier with this tool. That being said, you can still make a hole with the CS4 one. It just takes a little bit more time to do that. I also like the fact that the awl is positioned at the end of the multi-tool instead in the middle with the handyman. I feel like I get more force with this tool when it's positioned at the end of the tool. Little by little, we are closing the end here. We have still a couple of tools remaining, and these come from the Rambler. The tools remaining are the tweezers, right here, and from the other side, the toothpick. Both of them are tools I do use, and I want to have them around me all the time. Tweezers are something you don't really need that often, but it's just something that saves someone's day if you happen to have it with you when needed. That just tells people that you're always prepared, no matter what. Well, toothpick is just a toothpick, and once again something I do use regularly and which I want to have with me all the time. It just comes handy so many times. Lastly, both Victorinox and Leatherman include keyring as one of their tools. With the Rambler, it's always over here. But with the CS4, you have the option to turn it out of the way if you don't need it. And that is something I really appreciate. So far, I haven't had any use for it since I carry this tool in my pocket and I don't want it to be in my way. But it's still good to know that I can still use it if I happen to change my mind sometime in the future. And the keyring is positioned at the same size as the Phillips head screwdriver. So getting this out of the way, you can actually have the keyring pulled out as well. And you would have it over here outside. Okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I wish you guys a wonderful day. See you guys next time. Bye.